Hello and welcome to the Criticulus. I'm a monk, and today we are in Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlords. We are continuing our playthrough. I believe we're on episode 36, 37, 38. No, 37. Anyway, thank you for joining me on yet another episode, guys. We are going to be continuing our Bannerlords Let's Play. We're doing pretty good right now. As you can see, we are at war with a fair few people, which is problematic. Hopefully we're going to try and win one of these wars in this episode, or at least earn enough war score to contribute heavily towards a win. We currently have the decision of who gets this castle. This is a castle that obviously we won at the end of the last episode. And what I'm checking right now, just checking what lords currently have a property and what lords don't. Obviously, when it comes to clans, it's really important to try and make sure that every single one of your clans each have a property. If you do so, it will mean that your kingdom is more balanced. If you have a balanced kingdom, you don't have one lord with all the influence trying to steal every single castle. You also don't have your lords up and leaving you because they're unhappy within your kingdom. And of course, it does also mean that your lords are able to rally troops whenever they need to, because they each have a province of their own to get troops from. So that's what I'm trying to do. I have too many clans and not enough castles, so conquering a few more castles is probably a pretty good idea. Now, we have an army of 848, which is pretty good. This should be a relatively easy battle. It is a battle that I'm going to need to fight, because if you sim castle battles, you could lose some serious troops. Now, I did say in the last episode, the easiest way to do a castle is simply to destroy the walls. If you destroy the walls, and especially if you outnumber the enemy, you're literally just riding straight in, straight over their troops, and then the job is done. These castle raids take maybe 5 minutes, if that. Something I will try to show you, hopefully, is that you can actually use your horse to your advantage in these really well, because did you know that your horse can actually go upstairs? Now, it doesn't work if you try and go forward wise upstairs. Doesn't work at all. But if you reverse your horse up those stairs, well, then your horse will go all the way up, which is kind of cool. Not a lot of people know this. It can be useful in certain situations, maybe not in other situations. It's just, I feel like Bannerlords, it's one of those games that it just helps to have that knowledge, however it may be. The more knowledge you have in the game, the better. Unfortunately, as we all probably know by now, when it comes to castle battles, it is when, if your game's going to crash, that's when it's going to be, is when it's doing these castle sieges, unfortunately. Can you actually hack down that door? I believe you can. See if we can hack a path in here. Try and find some stairs. I'm sure our troops can more than handle what's going on. Aha! No, it's a little bit finicky. It's a little bit of an issue. If there was loads of archers up here, for instance, that's a really good time to kind of attack them on horseback. But yeah, I don't really think there's too much around. Make sure I have my shield up and running. The archers are over there on a building. Typical. Oh, oh dear. We got off our horse at the wrong moment, guys. I'm gonna fall off this wall. Gonna fall off the wall. And I fell off the wall. That's not what I wanted to happen. Not at all. So we were really unlucky then. Literally, as we got off the horse, a ton of troops emptied out, like going down to attack our troops, and that is not cool. FYI, falling in battle is never a good idea. It really hurts your morale. It doesn't help with losses either. But we still won even without us, so I guess that's not too bad. We are going to be fully injured right now, though, so that's going to take us a while to heal up, get the goods. And of course, that is another castle taken. I believe that's from the Western Empire as well. We are currently at war with them. And I believe that's the second castle we've now taken from them too. Oh no, so we have a party without a hero. Let's see who we can pop in as a temporary leader. Numbers there are glitched. That won't be her party size. Well, there we go. We got ourselves another castle. Now, when we do get a chance to vote for the next party member, we are going to need to... nope. When we do get a chance to vote for who that castle belongs to, we need to make sure it goes to a brand new clan. Ah, see, look, there we go. I told you her party size wouldn't just be 30, or I think I read 20. So let's fill out her squad. And we have a decent party size, to be fair. 292 isn't bad. As soon as we do actually make clan tier 5, we will get a slightly bigger party size, and that is always good. I'm always about that mark size, to be fair, because at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. Is Bannerlords. The more numbers you can bring onto the field, the absolute better. And if you can bring a decent sized army with just your troops alone, in other words, not needing to put together an army, then you're kind of laughing. To be fair, if you can put together that kind of troops without even needing an army, do you even really need to kingdom up? Interesting idea, actually. Do a playthrough without being in a kingdom, just you and your troops running around. Just trying to see who I feel like I can spare to fill out those ranks. I would like to fill it out, because as we said in the last episode, sometimes your lords struggle to actually fill out their party size, meaning it can leave you quite frustrated. I had so many comments asking me, why they weren't doing it, why they weren't recruiting more troops. And of course, at least when it comes to your own personal party members, you can inspect troops and you can give them a few extra troops. Up the cohesion. Don't think we're going to be able to catch this army, because we aren't moving very fast and there's a lot of us as well. Well, who are they running from then? No, they're too fast. They're faster than me. It's not happening. Or we're about evenly matched anyway. The owner of the new castle, again, I just want to make sure that it is going to a brand new clan. That's quite funny. That's a companion that I made a lord. We did make a few companions lords, actually. Give them castles. He obviously lost his castle. And to make peace. That's rather cool. So one of the kingdoms that we are at war with are suing for peace. We have more prisoners than them. We have committed more casualties than them, and we are overall stronger in strength as well. And now they are paying us every single day a little daily allowance, which is kind of cool. I'm quite happy with that. It's only 500, but it will absolutely do. It all adds up. Just need the Western Empire to be paying us money now too. The Azari, I don't really care. They declared war against me. I don't know what that's all about. We're at the other side of the map to them, so I'm not really sure what they think they're going to do. Or how much trouble they're actually going to cause. So I may just leave them to their own devices, to be fair. We do need to be recruited now. Obviously, we did give away a lot of our troops, so we need to replenish our own troops. Still got a lot of enemy troops in our area, even if we're not currently at war with them. Oh, I like her helmet. That's a cool little one. Haven't seen that in the game before. It must be one of the new ones added. Rather cool. Recruit more troops. There's so little people about. It is because we're currently at war. It takes a while for these towns to kind of recover, especially if they've been raided or something like that as well. You can always go down to my own town. I believe I own a town just down here to the right. I should have a pretty stocked garrison, so if need be, I could always fill my ranks with those troops. Probably don't need 400 or 500 troops in there as a garrison anyway. Oh, that one had a good few. Very cushy. There we go. We're going to do the same here. We need to take another castle. Again, we still have plenty of clans needing land. I'm going to build all of our trebuchets, and as soon as they are built, saying that, I should really put them into reserve, but by the looks of it, they're a little bit slow on the build here, so we might actually be able to get away with just letting them build. I think our trebuchet should outbeat their catapult. Yeah, they're a little bit slow on the build here. We're quicker. We have the better engineer, which is kind of cushy for us. Means that we don't need to do the whole classic moving our siege weapons into reserve until 4 of them are built, then bring them all out at the same time. Need to keep an eye on our cohesion though of the army, because that is looking rather low. One wall cracked already. And there we go. Double crack, 2 open holes in those walls, and we can lead our troops in. Let's try not to die this time, guys, eh? No reversing upstairs for us, I think. I love how all the castles are so unique. I think it's very cool. It's a very cool game. Had someone ask me in the comments what game... No, I think it was in my Discord. What game I'd prefer. Either, or what game I'd recommend. Bannerlords or Crusader Kings 3. I think both games are such So good games. I love all the elements within both games. I don't know which one I prefer. They both bring different, parts to it. I love CK3 for being able to do all the court stuff, being able to hire different court positions and to do some of the intrigue missions where assassinate people or seduce people, that kind of thing. I think that's kind of cool. But again, Bannerlords is all about this, this kind of hand-to-hand combat and actually having real control over your troops. I think that's really cool. Both games absolutely amazing. Kind of wish you could combine the two. Let's see if we can get any kills here with our absolutely gigantosaurus sword. I do need to do some smithing soon though. I do need some more money. Our bankroll is definitely dwindling a little bit. We haven't done smithing for a little minute. Of course, once you do unlock smithing, you've got the ability to pretty much print money, which is kind of cool. Oh, we missed him completely. I think we've about won this, to be fair. That was pretty easy. Our troops are just absolutely overriding them. It's kind of cool to see. We've got a ridiculous amount of troops. It's quite cool. Or at least in comparison to them. It would be nice if we could actually recruit a couple more clans, because there are one or two kingdoms around that certainly have more than us. Just going to order the charge just to make sure, just in case one or two is just in an awkward situation. It kind of just forces all of our troops just to run and get that job done. Nice little easy win though. Nothing really troop wise, nothing really prisoner wise. Couple of upgrades that we can do though. Always recommend batch upgrading, but I typically just upgrade as I go. If you want to be proficient, more proficient than me, then definitely wait until you have 2020 able to upgrade. Show mercy is always a good idea. Now we actually got a level up, which is really interesting because we did need a bit of a level up. We only got one focal point to pop in. Now focal point wise, leadership and stewardship and smithing are already maxed. We have one-handed already maxed as well. I kind of want to use two-handed weapons though. I did invest points into bowmanship. We had quite a few episodes on that. It done actually quite well. We've actually got a tiny bit that we can improve upon on athletics still. So I feel like popping a point into two-handed is a good idea. I want to be doing smithing. I'm going to make myself a brand new two-handed sword. And I think that's a good way to go. We can get some good points and some good levels from two-handed weapons still. We're thinking ahead, although that extra point into athletics wouldn't have been a bad idea. Again, roguery, we also take a lot of prisoners and sell them at the tavern, so putting that extra focal point into roguery wouldn't have been a bad idea either. Again, with charm is another one we get points in quite often, or are able to, so that wouldn't have been a bad idea either. Now, we currently have just our party members. That's just our clan's party members. So the army that we have now is completely free when it comes to influence. We're not spending anything. It does mean that the rest of our clan are able to, so the rest of our kingdom are able now to make armies of their own. So hopefully they can start fighting this Western Empire or the Azari as needed. Another castle passed over. Now I still need to fill my ranks completely. I think there's also a few other troops I need to move around. So finding these troops before we actually go full on into war with the Western Empire is going to be a good idea. I think after we smash the Western Empire, whether that's next episode, whether that is the episode after, eventually they start taking too many losses. They aren't going to like it. They will sue me for peace. After that, we're going to do some smithing and get ourselves some more money.
It's been a while.
Sturgia. Now we about wiped out Sturgia. Of course, we still got a few remnants of them lying around. They're kind of annoying, to be fair. When this new update happens for Bannerlords, the old kind of dead kingdoms will die out, which is quite nice. But we are definitely a while away from that yet. Old party member, one of our companions, probably a caravan leader. She was the spice vendor, so that would make sense. To be fair, since I got so good at smithing, or since I got that stat up where I'm able to print off those two-handed swords, haven't really needed to worry too much about my caravans. Of course, you can have a ridiculous amount of caravans that roam in the map, and it is a really good way of making money, but it just nothing competes to smithing. And don't forget, guys, if you have been enjoying the playthrough or you want more people to talk to about your game, we do actually have an active and growing Discord. The link is down in the description. We've got quite a good community within the Discord as well when it comes to Bannerlords. Maybe you're looking for more people to PvP with, because there is a multiplayer version of this too. Like I said, join the server, come say hi, and hopefully we can either answer your questions, share your stories, or find someone to play with. The garrison, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, we do have a ton of troops, 424 troops within the garrison. Don't need all of those in the garrison, so let's see if we can remove some good options and fill out some other bits. Trying to find some good troops. Do quite like those, actually. I need more of an infantry, both for myself and for my party members. I've got the entire army covered when it comes to archery or archers. Britannian heroes. Yeah, we'll take all of them. We'll take absolutely everybody we can. So we're exceeding our limit, and if we was to march off too far, a lot of people would desert. We can go over our limit. That's actually been put in a few of my little tip videos, but it can be useful sometimes to go over your troop limit if you have someone with a bigger army not too far away. Not all of those troops are going to desert straight away, so it does enable you to have or catch up on numbers if needed. And of course, for us, it means we can fill out the ranks of our other party members. Sellswords. Sellswords aren't too bad, actually, as a unit, to be fair. Definitely better units, but they're not bad. Now, our brother here has too many troops, so let's see which ones we can actually take from him. He was a little bit too generous. And then, of course, take him back into our ranks. That's 0 influence, as he is our brother. A clan member. And let's rinse and repeat with someone else as well. Our younger brother. I did actually want him as in my own party. But needs must at the moment, so he is a little bit of a leader. I actually need to take some time to find someone on the map, a companion that will be able to lead a decent sized party. Haven't found too many people on the map like that, but we haven't really been looking too often lately either. Haven't had too much downtime. We've been full at war, I think, ever since we created our kingdom. Every single episode has been about bettering the kingdom in some way, and so kingdoms have taken priority over getting the little bits done. I kind of feel like the mission from 0 to having your own kingdom is actually more fun than it is sometimes actually having a kingdom, because when it comes to having your kingdom, you really do need to manage it. And it takes a lot of effort before you get to a stage where you're able then to get back to doing what you want without necessarily having to worry too much about defending your own realm, because hopefully you get to a stage where your realm can defend itself. Let's pop him back in the army as well. It's kind of cool because what we're doing is we're taking our own clan members, popping them in our army. It's costing us absolutely 0 influence. Every single one of them is maxed with troops as well. We will then max ourselves with troops, and you're looking at what, 600 troops that we're able to move around with, and that's costing us absolutely nothing in influence. And of course that's a decent size. We're able to go around and do some decent damage to this Western Empire. Whereas if we was to call forward an army, we're going to be calling forward armies, and it's going to cost us influence. These are going to be valuable lords that we're taking away from the kingdom as well. They're not going to be able to do their job in defending their own lands. And of course, any of my own clan that I recruit into my army, their lands are my lands, therefore they don't already have a job, you know. So it's much better for my kingdom to do it this way rather than to call forward those bigger groups like I did earlier. Not saying don't ever do it, but I tend to stick to my own clan as much as possible. There we go. We have a decent size. Now, I just need to try and find... See, the Western Empire is massive. It really does stretch for quite some bit. I'm not sure exactly where I want to expand to. I feel like above the Sturgeon land would be good, or under, depending on which way you typically have the map. So I think if we bring our troops back down this way, where we've been fighting for quite a while, try and take over some land down there would be a good call. There's going to be some castles. There's probably 1 or 2 towns as well. I need to actually check to see who the Western Empire is actually at war with, if we're the only one they're at war with, or if they're at war with a couple other people. Because if they're at war with a couple other people, they may be a little bit distracted, and therefore we're not going to see their big armies marching on the land. Grab that wood for a little bit later. And I think raiding villages is going to be where we're going to score a ton of war score and put a little bit of pressure on them. And I think we're going to start with this little village up here. Here's a while for us to get there though, but we are sporting 622 troops, which, if you ask me, is a fair size army. But guys, I'm going to leave this episode about here. We are going to go on a little bit of a raid. And I think in the next episode, we're going to continue raiding villages, taking towns, and hopefully kicking some Western Empire butts. But if you haven't enjoyed this episode, then a big thank you to you for supporting us so far. And of course, I've been a monk, we've been a critic Judas, and I'll see you in the next episode real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.